soft my whole life through. And the blessing I shall ask shall remain unchanging, to be brave and strong and true, and to fill the world with love my whole life through.
Another advocate to be with you always.
For their skill, grace, promise, and energy, they're bringing about in gestures of pure joy that brought this day what seemed like the sheer gratitude for the fact that they were embodied in the role. That's the one thing is that for the soccer to bring that to our residents moment or celebrate the memory of community involved with partner friend. But also that the church in which we worship asks us to recall the mindfulness.
It's a long road to freedom, a winding steep and high. And when you walk in love with the wind on your wings, cover the earth with the songs you sing, the miles fly by. I walked one morning at the dawn, when bits of night still lingered on. I saw my star, but it was gone. It's a long road to freedom, a winding steep and high. When you walk in love with the wind on your wings, cover the earth with the songs you sing, the miles fly by. I walked one morning with a friend and prayed the day would never end. The years have flown, so why pretend? It's a long road to freedom, a winding steep and high. And when you walk in love with the wind on your wings, cover the earth with the songs you sing, the miles fly by. I walk every moan that held its sting. It's a long road to freedom, a winding steep and high. And when you walk in love with a wind on your wings, cover the earth with the songs you sing. And I'll fly by.
We should have won that contest.
You don't remember? Wait, is this what Lisa used to play?
Yes.
Everybody's on.
So you're also reminiscing. I should do this more often.
Yes.
You don't have to die one by one so we can.
If you miss the train I'm on, you will know that I am gone. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles. Lord, I'm one, Lord, I'm two, Lord, I'm three, Lord, I'm four, Lord, I'm 500 miles from my home. 500 miles, 500 miles, 500 miles, 500 miles. Lord, I'm 500 miles from my home. Not a shirt on my back, not a penny to my name. Lord, I can't go home this away, this away, this away, this away, this away. Lord, I can't go home this away. If you miss the train I'm on, you will know that I am gone. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles.
Lisa's penmanship.
Yeah.
Lisa's penmanship, it was really beautiful. And Lisa and Carla had threading before anyone threaded. It was when we were in Vancouver and they were saying, you know, go to these Indian beauty parlors because they're doing the latest trend now, threading. When I said that, I said, no. When my classmates' mates were doing that, which they were only in grade 7 in the 60s, so it was nothing new. So, Paz, you were going to say something about Lisa.
One of my early memories of Lisa, we would go, you know, we would come to here, Forbes, no? And we would alternate between Lisa's house and Dorothy's house. And it was because we would go trick-or-treating. And you know, we would go trick-or-treating, and you know, we were like under grade 6, grade 7, we would go trick-or-treating, and I remember, you know, we would say, trick-or-treat our aching feet.
Imagine we're going to say something.
It was Lisa who taught me how to smoke. Because her sister Carla had started smoking, and so Lisa says, "Come, let's try. Wait, man, you know, one cigarette and one coffee straight to the bathroom. And later on she said, you try to smoke, and then you try to write your name. Di ba your hand would shake? So she said, kasi me, look, she demonstrated how to put that right there. So we also, oh, nga, no? I admired her, you said to remind everyone. Di ba we enjoyed her meal in one?
Meal, yeah.
She makes it, she makes it.
And I'm still making it.
Oh, very good. Yes.
Everybody get the recipe.
She was doing her job and whatever we will do. In half an hour, nakabab.
Bob.
You would always say, Lisa, bakit hindi nahuhulog yung roller brush mo? Kasi pag ganun talaga, all the way, tapos dito, tapos ganun. And then she grew older from college to
I remember her boy shoes. Remember? Her boy shoes. But she noticed her boy shoes.
Oh, and Lisa was one of the first girls to have a boyfriend.
The rumor is Madeline.
No, we're talking about Bedriana.
Okay.
Not you. You plenty.
You're very also we This is about Lisa.
Dearest classmates, I know you all loved and love Lisa, or you would not be here today honoring her, celebrating her. I also know that most of you have probably seen very little of her in the last 4 decades, since our merry old days.
Sorry.
Except for the occasional visits like our 2008 movie reunion. Well, if you haven't already seen it, I would just like to assure you that that sweet, wonderful, caring Lisa you knew in high school stayed that way throughout her life. From the moment I met Lisa as a 12-year-old freshman in high school, she was a blessing. I had come to a new school from St. Teresa's, didn't know anyone, tried to make friends, but most seemed to already have the friends they wanted to have, and others had no room in their hearts for me.
For more.
Some purposely tried to exclude the newcomer, but most probably just didn't notice that she needed a friend, but not Lisa. She came over to me as I was playing guitar in a corner during lunch and asked me if I'd teach her the chords of Dave Clark 5's It's Your Turn to Cry, because she heard me playing it. I said, sure. She said that one of her gangmates had told her to turn her back to me so I wouldn't see her playing the chords to Hurting Inside, but she said if I wanted to, she'd teach me that song as a trade. I told her she didn't need to trade. I was just happy to meet someone who loved to play and sing too. We became friends at that moment and remained close until the day she died. She was like that. She didn't really listen to what people said about other people. She made her own decisions. She had a fiercely independent streak then that wasn't immediately evident because she was quiet and seemed shy. But she wasn't really shy. She loved the performances of our singing group, the Checkers, who should have won the contest. Before in junior year to compete in the SCA folk singing contest. We were sad when we came in second, but we got to play in many other venues. Ateneo combo concerts, my uncle's TV show, that's Chito Feliciano.
Dance with Chito.
Dance with Chito, yes. And I think also the Uncle Bob's.
Uncle Bob. Yeah, we were there. Dance time.
Which she enjoyed very much. She was an excellent guitar player, a real perfectionist with a perfect sense of rhythm. She never froze under the lights, and even if the rest of us were nervous, we'd hear her play that first strong chord and we'd all pull ourselves together.
As you all know, Lisa was a disciplined student throughout her schooling and gathered many honors. I don't think I would have passed calculus in college without my math major friend. She would have made a great teacher because she was kind and patient and didn't make you feel like a total idiot, even if you were one. When we traveled all over the usual cities of Europe after college in 1972, she was in charge of our food bag. Her smarts managed to feed and house 4 people who each only had about $500 for almost 2 months. That's a feat. After her long-term relationship in Manila ended, Lisa came to live with me in Hawaii in 1976. By then, I had finished grad school, lived the obligatory few years in exciting New York City, and had been banished by my nervous dad to safer, cleaner Honolulu. Lisa had previously tried living in San Francisco and then LA, but wasn't happy in either place. She was sad when she first came to live with me, but found it hard to stay that way in sunny Hawaii. She started taking art classes at the University of Hawaii and ended up with a 2nd degree in fine arts. What talent she had. The teenager who used to roller dry our hair, apply makeup on us with a sure hand, and paint a gorgeous zodiac wheel on her bedroom wall with black light painted, had graduated to the finer arts. She tie-dyed and batiqued lovely clothing, and at one point she had her own loom and wove beautiful pieces. She cooked us wonderful meals and settled in nicely to the island rhythms and slower pace. She took a job with a small stocks and bond company called E.A. Buck. She started out as one of their junior accountants and worked her way to a company controller. She worked with them for 30 years. She was so beloved that when she became ill in 2009, Mr. Buck did something completely unheard of anywhere, much less in the hard-boiled world of stock brokerages. He said that when she could no longer work, he would continue to pay her salary for the next 10 years. Wow. Lisa worked hard that last year, making sure she completely trained her replacements. It was a lot to teach, and Mr. Buck acknowledged that there was a lot only Lisa knew and had to impart well in order for his business to keep succeeding. In the years she worked there, she made a comfortable salary and was able to buy a beautiful townhouse where we had a reunion in 2001. It was Lisa through and through. Everything was well appointed and beautifully placed. She had a terrific green thumb, and her tiny backyard had a garden rimmed with fragrant rosemary bushes, her favorite. She had a dwarf palm tree in each corner of the garden, and in the middle was an immaculately kept circle that she called her herb mound. She was proud of that mound and would meticulously pick the right stem of thyme and tarragon or sprig of mint for whatever she was cooking or drinking. Our friend Vicky is going to try and emulate this in Baguio and call it Lisa's herb mound. Wow. There. I'm positive Lisa will make those herbs flourish. For the next 10 years, Lisa traveled almost every year with me and intermittently with Vicky, Marilyn, and Bethliana. Her favorite trips were the ones to Tuscany and Lombardy, Provence and the French Riviera, and Positano and Sicily, where she was a designated driver of the entire island from Palermo to Taormina. She had not driven much until later in life and was so proud that she had mastered that skill enough to do what she did. She took so many beautiful pictures of the gorgeous Italian and French countryside. She often walked off by herself or lingered longer at certain spots that caught her fancy. Her artistic eye even lent itself to photography. She also loved our trips to Sedona and Mendocino, Napa. She was diagnosed with, this is hers, this is it, cortical basal degeneration in 2009. So we knew that the Mendocino Napa trip in 2010 could be one of her last. The disease causes brain cells in the cortical lobe of the brain to die, bit by bit, thus robbing the victim of being able to send the right messages to her limbs to make them move correctly and eventually at all. Soon after she was diagnosed, we decided to Skype with Lisa every few weeks. It was a way to keep an eye on her and a way for her to feel like she was still part of society. Her condition was isolating her more and more. When she was still healthy, Lisa had said that for our next trip, she wanted to go to Burgundy and the French wine country. She had loved the county wine region in Tuscany and wanted to see what a French one was like. She never stopped being curious. But because she was just a bit less able by 2010, and because she felt she couldn't do a rigorous European trip, we planned a trip to Mendocino and the California wine country instead. She was able to relax, and we were able to pamper her, and she still could do pretty much everything, albeit with lots of rest at night. She was so happy. She loved all the rhododendron gardens near Mendocino, the rolling vineyards of Napa, even a tour of the artistry in Sausalito houseboats. She was in her element. That turned out to be the last trip that she was independently mobile. In late 2013, our group and other good friends drove or flew to meet her in San Francisco, where she was to undergo an evaluation of the progress of her condition at UCSF. She could no longer walk on her own or eat by herself. We hung out with her, sang harmonies with her, ate sushi, drank champagne, she chugged it, bathed her, and just gently pampered her for several days. We threw her a party on her November 4th birthday at a friend's home. She was still so gentle and sweet, quietly happy to be around all her friends, never complaining about her diminished condition. I spoke to Lisa several days before she died. I talked a Hawaiian nurse at the hospital into holding the phone to her ear. She couldn't talk much, no long sentences, just phrases. I tried to make her laugh, brought up fun moments, including her masterful chauffeuring skills in Sicily. She gleefully said, "I drove in Sicily." After a while, I sensed she was tiring and didn't want to keep the nurse too long, so I started my goodbyes. She suddenly burst out with, "I love you, Gracia, a pet name for me." They were the last words I would ever hear her say. And so, dear friends of my youth, I hope this gave you a picture of what became of Lisa the girl. She lived a good life, full of wonder and adventure. She was gentle and kind and generous to a fault. She was never shy to show you were loved and opened her heart wide to let you love her back. She will never be forgotten, and the triggers to memory are many. Her love of scents, especially verbena and lavender, the songs we sang together, the sights we saw. Her sweetness will remain in our hearts like a beloved melody that plays in your mind and always makes you happy. Love always, Grace.
Together with her sister Carla plus Grace, Mad, Marlene, Nelly, and Pat, she harmonized and created music we all enjoyed, singing in different venues and events. Lisa was always the sweet and soft-spoken one in the group who was quite serious about her guitar playing and mastered it. She also had this gentle and ladylike persona, but wait till you see her hit that ball mightily for a home run. Remember she and Sheila? Yes, she was also a softball star. I remember everyone who always asked to hush up before she hit the ball. That was her personal request. And boy, did she hit the ball like there was no tomorrow. Whenever I think of Lisa and her sister Carla, I cannot help but remember their mom, who was such a kind and caring person. She was also a gracious host and always served us delicious food. I can still recall the taste of the delightful crunch of her Vienna cake, which was my favorite. I know that Lisa, as well as Carla, like their mom, are good-hearted people. I feel blessed to have been able to spend such wonderful memories with them. Nali.
Dear Lisa, thank you so much for your friendship. I will always remember your sweet and gentle ways. I can still see us sitting on the steps near the high school cafeteria, you strumming your guitar, sharing Pepsi at recess. I will not forget my first ever treat and tricking at your place and enjoying the goodies from sunny Big Shop. Thank you for strolling with me in the park in Honolulu, even if we both lost our balance and fell together just as we were trying to hail a taxi. Thank goodness for the tourists who pampered us with their kindness. You attract generosity from others. I thank you and Bill for opening your home to me. I know you both went out of your way to do so. I have to admit, I will sorely miss our Friday prayer Skypes. You have been such a blessing, and your every prayer was spirit-filled. I marveled that at every possible opportunity, you unfailingly lifted up your family and friends to the Lord. I know you continue to do so, even as you now rest in Jesus. I will also not forget that as your eyesight failed, you made sure to listen instead to tapes of the scriptures. I expect you are now getting the answers to your questions, like what is the meaning of Selah in the Psalms? Missing you so much. Love, Elaine.
So this is from Linda too. Lisa was always soft-spoken and kind-hearted. She looked always fresh and neat. She was a very sports-minded lady, always cheerful, and had a very good sense of humor. We had a very pleasant time and good fun when we did old Manila walks together. And that's the memories of it. Now, from Marilyn, because she was my classmate, our kindergarten classmates to high school. My beloved Lizzie, how I miss you so much. Your memory will forever linger within my soul, for you are my second sister, my best friend and close confidant since kindergarten, a cooperative partner in my many crazy escapes through high school and early college days, the best traveling buddy. I can never run out of citing our happy moments together. There are just too many and not enough time. One thing I know for sure is that I will always carry these happy times deep within me, so that we can share and compare notes when we see each other once again. You've always remained a true and loyal friend, despite our small differences, and for these I'm very grateful. I've always admired your love for the simpler things in life, as well as your magnanimous and compassionate selfless heart. So I toast to these beautiful qualities within you over my scotch, 7-Ups, vodka, tonic, sangria, and Merlot. Cheers and okale maluna to the week sa iyo. Bottoms up and warm aloha, Mars.
Lisa, how I wish we had a chance to cook together, share recipes, swap herbs from our kitchen garden. You know, I still have such a vivid taste memory of that garlic cream cheese dip for potato chips that we enjoyed at your house one day after school. And your mama's mango tartlets, for me, are unsurpassed to this day. What fun, that Halloween night when we trick-or-treated in your neighborhood. In parentheses, my only experience going door to door begging for candy. Remember collaborating on our alternative graduation ring. Marjorie, you were there too, no?
None.
Okay, getting approval from the sisters, we designed it together, a beautiful ring I still have and treasure mine. Thank you, Lisa, for the fresh days you brought to that first LA reunion. Such an effort from the heart, and you have a big one. I am so happy that I got to see you then. Aurea once asked, who do you think is the prettiest in our class? Without pause, I said, Lisa Abreu. You are a beauty among many, but I always saw your inner shining light. Be happy now, Lizzie. You are missed so much. Peace and joy forever, dear friend. From
Princess.
I met Lisa when we were second year high school in one of the SEA conferences. At the time, I was an officer of the SEA. And we kind of got close right away. You know, but I met Carla the year before. Pero Lisa kasi when you see her, you can see the depth kahit walang sinasabi. She's very quiet. And college, I was lucky enough to become their barkada because you gave them the block then, ano? And we were at the table by the door in the cafeteria, tapos kayo doon, everybody else in the next table. And we used to hang around in their house, in their Rampus room, and you know, some of them would smoke pot, I would inhale the second-hand smoke, they would smoke cigarettes, I would inhale the second-hand smoke. And then all of them had their poison of choice, you know, vodka yung isa, scotch yung isa. So I was forced to drink tequila because I couldn't drink a lot of alcohol. So to get the same high, from konting tequila I couldn't drink their scotch. And then I was always the designated sober woman because then I had to bring home Beth, make sure hindi mahuli ng nanay, bring home Mars, make sure hindi mahuli ng nanay. So, you know, I was the goody-goody. Even in the beach, they would all suntan, put all the baby oil as a boat, and I would be in the veranda because I had to go under the sun. It would all be tan. And during our travel years, we started traveling in the 80s when the kids were still small. Our first trip together was in Grace's house in Virginia. And those are some of the pictures you saw. And Lisa would bring, imagine from Hawaii, dala na niya yung mga, she would bring food, daming pagkain. And then after that, they went to Toronto, where I was. So we visited each other. Then we did the Honolulu trip and San Francisco. And after that, when the kids were older, we did our European trips. And every time Lisa would come, she would have trail mix for everybody. She was into healthy eating. So we all had a bag of trail mix that she herself bought, dried, roasted the nuts, dried the fruits, and assembled them. So all of us had like a Ziploc for the entire trip. And when we travel, we had definite tasks. Grace would navigate because she doesn't drive in the highways, and I don't drive at all. Lisa or Mars would drive. And Lisa would be the kitty holder. And when we landed, we gave her like the 500 euros, 1,000 euros, and she'd pay for everything. And even groceries, museums, restaurants, and nagbabayad. And then she was my sous chef. Because I was in charge of where to eat, markets to go to, groceries to see what's in the specific towns. And she was so precise when you say, you wash this when you dice it. I was waiting and waiting because all the dice were perfect. All the julienne were like perfectly sized and thin. Talagang really precise siya. And me naman, I'm just waiting matutulog na yung oil ko. But anyway, that was her job. She was always the sous chef. Grace was navigator and tagahugas. And then Marley would drive. And then one of the memorable things about Lisa that I remember is every Christmas time she would send us angels for our Christmas tree. So we have a whole collection of angels to hang in our Christmas tree. That's why all of you are getting little angels that I bought in Baguio. They're still, you can put it beside your desk or your table or hang it in your tree. And every time you see an angel, just think of Lisa. And her favorite places that we went to was in Provence and Italy. And they had huge bushes of rosemary, taas talaga, and with purple flowers. We had pictures that we couldn't find pictures of it. So each of you are just getting you'll all get a bush, a rosemary bush, which requires very little care. Just a sunny side, and you know, there are care instructions in there. And believe it or not, rosemary is a symbol of remembrance. Rosemary is a symbol of remembrance. So, you know, just hope yours lives in Davao. And the other thing is, when we would talk to her, it came at a point where we all had to talk one at a time kasi pag marami, hindi naguguluhan siya. No? So one at a time, and it's slower, and we would feel that the reception was also slower. And then when we ask her a question, it would be a minute or two before she would answer. That's near the end now. And then towards like October, November of last year, we would Skype every 2-3 weeks already because we knew, you know, like better na more often so that she could still at least, kasi nobody would call them anymore. Pardon? You could see, because we Skype every month regularly for the past how many years, you could see the deterioration. And then there was a time we'll say, nag-freeze, no naman eh, for about a few years. But then we'll say, Lisa, you know, press the button. press the button on the left side and say, Kimi, I don't know what's my left. Because the brain would not tell her anymore. But she would admit it to us naman. That's why her husband was always helping us. And the sky. Positive things, positive things. And so we really wanted to be in touch with her until the end. And Grace was really, I mean, even in the hospital, it took her like half an hour just to get a nurse to hold the phone in her ear because she couldn't even get the phone. And they were really nice in the hospital because I said, sure, we'll get the nurse to go to her room. Then they said, oh yes, we'll get the nurse to go to her, hold the phone to her. So in the end, and then the nice thing also is like her brothers and sister visited the week before she passed away, like a few days before she passed away. They came back to say, because it took them like forever to organize it just to go and see her. But those are the things I remember about her, like they're really good things. Like she loved to cook. When we visited her in Honolulu, herb mountains that we can garden. It was a mountain and she had all her herbs around. And then on the side of the wall, she grew her own arugula. She loved arugula, but the baby ones. And she was a healthy eater. She loved salads and fruits, flowers, but makita ng flowers, she had picture. So she has tons of pictures with flowers all over her tree. And then I wasn't able to join them in the last few years because I came home here. And they did a few trips. Our last trip with them was in Sicily, and then we did Sedona with them. And then Lisa and I did the vortex tour, wherein it's supposed to like heal you. So I said, Lisa, come, let's go. At that time she had cancer. She's a cancer survivor. I don't know if you know that. She had cancer also. Cancer survivor on the breast. But it was in remission already, and then she was hit with this disease. So I said, Lisa, come, let's go hug the tree, the vortex trees, kasi energy daw will suck up all the negative energy. So kami dalawa hug. Because Grace and Mars, and what they did, kami like vortex on her. So kami dalawa nakahug sa tree. Really nakagano yung branches. So, okay, can you feel the energy? Can you feel the energy? I said, yes, can you feel And then, ano pa ba? But those are, it's just, she's never really been negative. Kahit masumit na siya yung why me always, yung ginagawa niya, and then she'll do it. Bakit ang gano'n na yung mukha niya? She'll still do it without complaining. So really, she never complained that she was in pain. And then we just noticed, oh, are you tired now? Yeah. Okay, we'll talk to you in 3 weeks. So, we were at least around her. And I hope you have friendships that are like that because it's really special. It's really precious. Especially like all of you who grew up together since kindergarten or, and then after high school and college and our adult life. So, think of her when you plant your tree and get your little angel.
Thank you.
So much fun. It was the last one was so great. It was so and you. Nakakatawa because all the negative things ever said about us, we put it out there.
Mars. Lisa, right? Kasi si Lisa, when she sleeps, she doesn't move. Her position when she sleeps.
Kasi magukusog yung night gown niya.
It's not true. What do you have to say?
We have 2 beds. Silang dalawa, they can sleep in 1 bed. Hindi sila nagkakama.
Siguro,
In the 60s, I never knew. I didn't know what comforter was. So I had to sleep with Lisa in her bed. And so she had this nice, big comforter, remember? So I know that she doesn't move.
That's what she
shared my
Hindi mo magalaw. Kaya mo.
As a guy.
The garden is like that too.
She doesn't want us to see her if it's like
But you really got along because you traveled to Manila.
At saka, we've been traveling since the 80s up to 5 bedrooms, apat lang kami. So sabi, sige, let's invite other people so we can stay in that house. So it's the cousin yata of a friend or something. Never again. Okay, that's the first and last time we're inviting anybody again. Google na yung schedule namin. Yung isa gusto maging navigator. Ayan, nag-navigate na wala kami for kasi our jobs are so sanay. We're planning for a year. Even where we go, everybody has to say where they want to. Like for example, we'll do Provence. So we look at all the towns that's like 2 hours max driving away. And then what we want to see, what we want to eat, where we want to go. So it takes us a year to plan our itinerary. By the time we get there, all we have to do is pick up the car at the airport, try and arrive at the airport all at the same time. Kasi iba-iba, from Virginia, San Diego, Honolulu, Toronto, you know, we have to arrive more or less within 2 hours or something to pick up the car. Oo. And then, alam na yung pan, bayad na, kitty muna, bayad na yung kotse, bayad na yung bahay, yeah, very organized. At saka naku, pag sinabing 9 o'clock, out of the house, so breakfast. Tapos iba, Grace takes half an hour to an hour, bathroom. Si Lisa, half an hour. Ako, 15 minutes. So ako yung laging natutulog longer than everybody. And then si Beth, 2 hours. Every time we rent anything with Beth, she has to have her own room and patio. Kaming apat, we can share. So okay, wake me up 15 minutes before we leave. So talagang ayos. God, one time in Sedona, pagpasok namin na kami, naka-rollers na siya. Tapos yung nakamask, ay, sigaw ka. Ano yung picture nila tayo?
Late at night, okay, Beth, make sure you don't finish everything is over there.
It was so much fun. And si Lisa, ayos yan. Breakfast, coffee, kasi coffee drinker. She loves coffee. So yun ang mga wish list na. Because before you rent a house, you get all your wish list. Coffee machine, 3 bathrooms, and only 1 weekender each for our trip. Eh kasi apat kayo, hindi na kasya si Portia. Tapos mag-shopping lang. Discipline pa lang.
Yeah, but that's a very good idea. Food it.
And we've done